Good afternoon and welcome to Boom Market Stock Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually the FOMC meeting today, which will be at about 8 o'clock South African time. It's a very important day today with Jerome Powell making actually a statement later on at the conference where he will state, will they start to taper, with how much? And then also we have the dot plot where they will state actually where the interest rates is going to be. Will it be on 2021, 2022, or 2024, what they said the last time? That will also be another confused or big question mark in this whole conference. And then also the question of tapering, will it be in 10 months? Will it be in 1 year? That is also the other question that will come in. On the other side, the market is seeing green today, but please don't forget that Jerome Powell is talking at 8 o'clock, and it might actually mess up your trades after the break.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Good afternoon and welcome to Boom Market Stock Show. This is your host, Rian Hobson, and we're doing the FOMC meeting today. Please, there's a link below. Click on the link, register your account with $250. It is an account from markets.com, $250, and then I will give your classes excuse me, give your classes absolutely free. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page, like, and please drop your questions because it is an important day. As I said, the market is seeing green now. That has all to do with the People's Bank of China this morning, because they also had a release this morning. And then you have the Bank of Japan that also released a statement that there was no surprises there. And then we have the FOMC that will be later. So it's quite a busy day when it comes to the central banks. But when we get to the story of the central banks, that is just my account. But if we look not to the central bank, with Evergrande, the main unit say will make payment on the 23rd of September. Now, that is actually the story that pushed the market now up in the London session, because these guys confirmed that they will make payment tomorrow, because tomorrow is the deadline where they need to make payment. So they said it. Hopefully it will work out, but the market is seeing green today because of that particular article that was sent out by Evergrande, which is a good thing. And you can see actually the impact what China has on the global economy. On the other side, this also have to do with the crude oil inventories that will be released actually late today at about 4:30 South African time, where the market is seeing actually a drawdown in oil. So when they see a drawdown in oil, or a red number in the oil price, in the oil inventories, that means that there's a drawdown, and on top of that, you will have the oil prices that will go up. And as you can see with the oil prices, if you look at the energy stock, crude oils are actually up by 1%. You have the spot also, it's up. You have natural gas that is actually being struggling a bit with a 0.17. So those are the things actually that goes up with the energy stock, and that's all to do with the crude oil inventories that will be released at about 4:30. There's also an article here: oil prices rise, unexpected U.S. stocks draw. So they do expect actually a drawdown later on, and that has all to do with all the storms that is currently happening in the United States. That is now Ida, and then we had another storm that I did talk about. I just can't get to the name now, but Ida and all of those things that were happening in the United States, and they do expect a bit of a drawdown in the oil inventory. So that's why the oil prices are going up. So please be careful there. If you see a drawdown in the oil, you will know oil prices will go further up, or it looks like it's already been bought in. But if you see actually there is a big supply of oil in the United States, then that can push actually the oil prices down. Now, with the main focus of today is actually the FOMC, and I'm sure that's why you guys are actually tuning in to me to listen to it. Now, I can actually say that Jerome Powell is very uncertain of what he will say tonight, and he will surely be a nervous man actually talking, because one wrong move, the market will go into a sell-off. But there is problems going on in the United States. One is the debt ceiling. Two, it is the number of jobs that we're creating with the NFP number, because there were NFP number that were up, and then there were some that was just totally a messed up story. Then we have the inflation problem, which is running at about 5.3. And as he said, inflation is transitory. Now, then obviously we will have the dot plot. But let's first focus on the story of tapering. I think he will be actually hawkish tonight by making there sustainable progress in the economy, that is the word, and transitory, and will state out when he will start to do tapering. But I don't think there will be any tapering tonight, nor at the end of this year. That is my opinion. I think he's just going to outline that tapering will start next year, beginning of next year, and it will take about 12 months to get the system actually to deflate actually the central bank's balance sheet. Now, if you do say that it will start next year, we might see a buy-in in the commodities and in the Dow Jones, and also in commodity currencies, which is the Australian, New Zealand, Canadian dollar, and those currencies. So you will see actually basically a bull market if he actually do state that there will be tapering, but it will start next year. So once you hear the words next year, there's a high possibility that you can expect that the market will go into a bull round. If he do say that tapering will start at the end of this year, that sounds a bit hawkish to me. Then you might see a bit of a pullback in the market, or as basically in commodities and also in your equities, and then also your currencies, which is actually your Australian, New Zealand dollar, and you might see a bit of strength in the US dollar. So you have to be careful there. And on the other side, that is now tapering what I did. On the other side, that is now the dot plot. The dot plot is where they put their dots on, for example, when the interest rates will go up. Now, as we know, in the beginning of this year and last year, they said the first interest rate is far away and it will only be in 2024. Some were saying 2023. So we will look at where is the majority of the dots. If it's say 2022 or 2023, if it's 2023 or 2024, the market will go into a sell-off, possibly will go into a sell-off. Or if it's actually earlier, like next year or 2022, then we might see actually that will be very hawkish. If they say it's earlier, then we might see a bit of a sell-off in the market where you will see your equities are going down. So it's a bit confusing actually if you go to tonight, because there's two things that you need to look at. One is the tapering signal, and then two, it is the dot plot. The dot plot is always the most complicated thing, because you have to look where the dots is, or where they point the dots to say when the interest rates go up. My personal way of trading when looking at the FOMC, I normally read it. Don't open up any trades. I know there will be a lot of jumping that will go on there, and it will be tempting for you to open up a trade. But the thing is, there's too much information that needs to be digested when the statement will get released. So you have the dot plot and you have the tapering. And then afterwards at 8:30 South African time, then he starts to talk as well. I would say rather tune in and listen to what he says, and also read the statement if you can. Obviously, it will be my job tomorrow to talk about the statement. But the best thing is not to open up a trade actually when this whole charade is happening, especially when it comes to the dot plot and also with the tapering. But in my personal opinion, I think he will not taper due to what I just mentioned, which is the debt ceiling, the number of jobs, inflation. Inflation, as he said, inflation will be transitory, and he still sticks to that story that inflation is transitory. Look, my opinion is it's a whole bunch of nonsense, but he believes that it's transitory. And then the magic dot plot. That all of those things will be an issue, and I think he will rather let the economy run hot and talk about tapering, say that it will start next year, and not doing actually anything. So that is it from my side. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Please don't forget to click on a link below to register your account, and you will get classes absolutely free from my side. And then also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and leave your comments even after the show, and then I will answer them. That's it from my side. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.